This comes as nurses at public hospitals have announced plans to go on strike in a fortnight if government does not offer them better salaries. ZCTU Secretary General Yaphet Moyo said the current economic situation was untenable as workers were at the receiving end of failed governance. Moyo said the largest labor federation held a General Council meeting on Thursday and resolved that unless a national tripartite forum was constituted as a matter of urgency to discuss the challenges bedeviling the country, mass action was inevitable. The ZCTU is in the process of consulting structures to get a mandate for mass action in the event that the above issues are not addressed, he said in a statement issued after the meeting. ZCTU said that it was demanding, among other issues, that workers be given back their US dollar savings that were converted into bond notes by the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe when it created the RTGS dollar early this year. The ZCTU notes with great concern that notwithstanding the reduction in fuel duty, placing fuel procurement on the interbank market will result in frequent price adjustments, given the rapid depreciation of the real-time gross settlement dollar (ZWL dollar) on both the interbank and parallel markets, the labor body said. The upward adjustments in fuel prices will have knock-on effects on the prices of basic goods and services, worsening the impact of the already depreciating exchange rate on the general level of prices. Despite the availing of state-controlled buses that are not enough to meet demand, commuters' transport fares are now between and medical aid subscription has tripled, making life unbearable for most Zimbabweans, ZCTU said. Related slideshow, news and pictures provided by photo services. Turkish Foreign Minister Mevlut Cavusoglu, C. Pakistani Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi, R. and Malaysia's Foreign Minister Saifuddin Abdullah posed for a photo during the Turkey-Malaysia-Pakistan Trilateral Foreign Ministers meeting in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, on May 30, 2019. A member of Iraqi security forces inspects the site of a bomb attack in Kirkuk, Iraq, on May 31, 2019. A gale of wind lifts Pope Francis's cassock and covers his face, as he boards a plane to leave for a 3-day trip to Romania, on May 31, 2019. Belarus Prime Minister Syar Hirumaz speaks with his Russian counterpart Dmitry Medvedev ahead of a meeting of the Commonwealth of Independent States Council of the Heads of States in Ashgabat, Turkmenistan, on May 31, 2019. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi gestures towards supporters after his oath during a swearing-in ceremony in New Delhi, India, on May 30, 2019. U.S. President Donald Trump speaks to the media as he departs for Colorado from the White House in Washington, D.C., U.S., on May 30, 2019. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, R., shakes hands with senior White House advisor Jared Kushner during their meeting in Jerusalem on May 30, 2019. Supporters of the hardline Buddhist monk Ashenworth pray at Shwedagon Pagoda in Yangon, Myanmar, on May 30, 2019, following his arrest warrant on charge of sedition. Kuwait's Emir Sabah al-Ahmad al-Jaber al-Sabah Al and Saudi Arabia's King Salman C. listened to Tunisian President Beji Caid Essebsi R. during a group photo session ahead of an emergency summit in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, on May 30, 2019. King Salman opened an emergency summit of Gulf Arab leaders with a call for the international community to use all means to confront Iran. Uta also said the kingdom extends its hand for peace. Iranian leader Ali Khamenei makes a speech during his meeting with university instructors in Tehran, Iran, on May 30, 2019. Newly appointed interim chancellor Brigitte Bierlein speaks as Austrian President Alexander van der Bellen looks on in Vienna, Austria, on May 30, 2019. James Marape, L., is sworn in as the new Prime Minister of Papua New Guinea by Governor-General Bob Dada R. in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, on May 30, 2019. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky attends a meeting with foreign ministers Heiko Maas II of Germany and Jean-Yves Le Drian of France in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 30, 2019. Attendees react during the eulogy for Kenyan author and LGBT activist Binyavanga Wainaina, who died in Nairobi last week at the age of 48 during a memorial service in Nairobi, Kenya, on May 30, 2019. Prime Minister of Slovakia, Peter Pellegrini, meets Serbian Prime Minister Ana Brnabic in Belgrade, Serbia, on May 30, 2019. President of the European Commission Jean-Claude Juncker speaks to President of Lithuania Dalia Grybauskaitė during the Charlemagne Prize coronation ceremony in Aachen, Germany, on May 30, 2019. Cardinal Joseph Coutts sits with Christians and Muslims as they break their fast at the premises of the St. Jude's Church during the holy month of Ramadan in Karachi, Pakistan, on May 29. Former President of Georgia Mikhail Saakashvili is welcomed by his supporters as he returns to Ukraine in Borispol Airport on May 29, 2019. He was given citizenship back by the Ukraine's new President Volodymyr Zelensky. A cobbler makes traditional Kusa shoes ahead of the Eid al-Fitr festival marking the end of holy fasting month of Ramadan, in Karachi, Pakistan, on May 28, 2019. U.S. President Donald Trump is escorted by Japan's Emperor Naruhito during a welcome ceremony at the Imperial Palace in Tokyo, Japan, on May 27, 2019. Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Supreme Commander of the UAE Armed Forces, receives Lieutenant General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan Abdul Rahman of Sudan at the Presidential Airport in Abu Dhabi, UAE on May 26, 2019. Plastic bags seen hanging on branches during a protest called March of Plastic Bags outside the Kiev City Hall in Kiev, Ukraine, on May 26, 2019. Abdul Hafiz Sheikh, finance advisor to Prime Minister Imran Khan, gestures during a press conference, next to Special Assistant to the Prime Minister for Information and Broadcasting Firdaus Ashiq-Awin, in Islamabad, Pakistan, on May 25, 2019. Venezuela's opposition leader and self-proclaimed interim president Juan Guaido greets supporters at a rally in Carora, Venezuela, on May 25, 2019. Christian Orthodox believers demonstrate near the Romanian Orthodox Patriarchy headquarters in Bucharest, Romania, on May 25, 2019, during a protest against the upcoming visit of Pope Francis to Romania, scheduled from May 31 to June 2. Worshippers pray during the holy fasting month of Ramadan in front of the Kaaba, the cubic building at the Grand Mosque, in the holy city of Mecca, Saudi Arabia, on May 25, 2019. Papua New Guinea Prime Minister Peter O'Neill and Member of Parliament Julius Chan attend an event in Port Moresby, Papua New Guinea, on May 26, 2019. O'Neill announced his resignation, making way for Julius Chan to return as Prime Minister, local media reported. Migrants line up to get on a police bus after they disembarked from an Armed Forces of Malta patrol boat at its base in Marsamxett Harbour, Valletta, Malta, on May 25, 2019. People demonstrate against a possible legislation reigning in the Supreme Court which could grant Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu immunity from prosecution if he faces corruption charges. In Tel Aviv, Israel, on May 25, 2019. A right-wing protest on the streets of Dortmund, Germany, on May 25, 2019. Relatives of prisoners killed during clashes at a jail in Nicaragua, Venezuela, wait outside a hospital on May 25, 2019. At least 29 prisoners were killed and 19 police personnel wounded in clashes on May 24 as special forces tried to stop a massive prison break. Iraq's President Barham Saleh meets with Iranian Foreign Minister Mohammad Javad Zarif in Baghdad, Iraq, on May 25, 2019. Sri Lankan army personnel carry out a special cordon and search operation 5 weeks after the Easter bomb attacks in Mutegoda, Sri Lanka, on May 25, 2019. Iraqi Kurdish Peshmerga officers take part in the graduation ceremony in the Kurdish town of Soran, Iraq, on May 25, 2019. People take part in the March for Life, 4th annual anti-abortion march, in Zagreb, Croatia, on May 25, 2019. Zimbabwe's President Emmerson Mnangagwa arrives for the swearing-in ceremony of Cyril Ramaphosa in Pretoria, South Africa, on May 25, 2019. People attend a protest against Serbian President Aleksandar Vučić and his government in Belgrade, Serbia, on May 25, 2019. Latvian Prime Minister Artūrs Krišjānis Kariņš casts his vote during the European Parliament election in Riga, Latvia, on May 25, 2019. A yellow vest protester walks past riot police officers in Paris, France, on May 25, 2019. Yellow vest protests are taking place for the 28th consecutive week to challenge President Emmanuel Macron's economic policies. Presidential candidate Alberto Fernandez of the Unidad Ciudadana Citizen Unity gestures to supporters during a rally in Merlo, in Buenos Aires, Argentina, on May 25, 2019. A man arrives to vote in the European Parliament election at a polling station in Rome, Italy, on May 26, 2019. Mountaineer Kami Rita Sherpa, who broke his own world record for the most Everest summits, waves towards relatives and media after arriving at Tribhuvan International Airport in Kathmandu, Nepal, on May 25, 2019. Zimbabwe is facing its worst economic crisis in a decade at a January protests called for by the ZCTU after government raised the price of fuel by 150% turned bloody, with 17 people killed by security forces while 200 were left nursing bullet wounds according to human rights groups. Officials said 1,000 people were arrested during the protests. The southern African country remains in the throes of a dollar crunch and government raised the price of fuel again this week by 47%, triggering another round of price increases punctuated by the fall of the local RTGS currency on both the official interbank market and the parallel market. At the end of the day yesterday, the RTGS dollar traded at 4.8 to the greenback and at 7.5 on the parallel market. The working people of Zimbabwe have already suffered immensely as inflation rose sharply from 5.4% in September 2018 to 75.9% by April 2019. Wages have failed to keep pace with the inflationary trends, the labor movement said. In addition, pension and other statutory contributions have been severely eroded, compromising applicable benefit payments. For example, with average minimum wages of ZWLOO against a food poverty line (FPL) of 95 Zimbabwe dollars and a total consumption poverty line (TCPL) of 73 Zimbabwe dollars for a family of 5 in April 2019, it is evident that such wages are below survival levels, reducing most workers to the working poor. That is why the ZCTU has been demanding a minimum wage of, the statement read. The ZCTU demands that an urgent tripartite negotiation forum be convened to discuss the state of the economy and the way forward. Contrary to the Constitution, this government has a tendency of announcing policies without consultations as required by Section 13(2) of the Constitution. We reserve the right to approach the courts for redress. According to a statement from the Zimbabwe Nurses Association, the union has given a notice to strike after 14 days if government does not address their concerns. The nurses want, among other issues, a review of their salaries, flexible working hours, a vehicle loan scheme and an improved working environment. Having failed to find a common position with the employer, a deadlock has been declared. We are, therefore, issuing a notice of intent to embark on an industrial action in the next 14 days. If our grievances are not addressed, a statement from the nurses read.